Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Hoşal Diniz, and welcome to this presentation on assessing the resilience of Turkey's economy during the COVID-19 pandemic with its 2050 projections. The authors are Pierre and Alexandra Rostan from the American University of Iran, Baghdad. The objective of the paper is to assess the resilience of Turkey's economy following the COVID-19 pandemic. Turkey's 2050 real GDP's forecasts are estimated using historical data, with data including the pandemic and excluding the pandemic using spectral analysis. Turkey's 2050 forecasts are benchmarked to Euro area's forecast, which is a Euro area of 19 countries, with these countries using Euro as sole tender. Figure 1 illustrates quarterly real GDP time series of the Eurozone and Turkey between 1998 and 2022, in fact the last quarter, the fourth quarter of 2021. Since 1998, the real GDP of Turkey looks to have grown at a more rapid pace with a steeper slope than the real GDP of the Eurozone. Figure 1 shows two almost identical patterns at the start of 2020, when the two economies have entered into recession following the economic shock from the COVID-19 pandemic that hit the global economy. The two economies have died at an identical rate in 2020, and Turkey looks to have recovered at a more rapid pace in 2021 with a steeper slope. Figure 2 illustrates quarterly real GDP growth rate, annualized time series of the Eurozone economy and Turkey, from Q1 1998 to Q4 2021. Between Q1 1998 and Q3 2019, the quarterly real GDP growth rate, annualized of the Euro area economy, 19 countries, was most of the time below the one of Turkey, with an average growth rate of 1.43% for the Euro area versus 4.33% for Turkey. Figure 3 illustrates the quarterly real GDP growth rate, time series of the Eurozone economy and Turkey. Figure 3 is a zoom of Figure 2. So this is to illustrate the historical quarterly real GDP growth rate between Q2 2019 and Q4 2021. And what we see is that the quarterly real GDP growth rate of the Euro area was most of the time below the one of Turkey, with an average growth rate of 0.94% for the Euro area versus 6.57% for Turkey. It confirms, in fact, the historical relationship between the two economies observed between 1998 and 2019. Figure 4 illustrates 2021 GDP in US billion dollar and 2021 annual GDP growth rate of the Euro area economies and Turkey's. So first we have to keep in mind that the size of the Euro area, 19 countries, is about 18 times the size of the Turkish economy. And it was observed in 2021. In the Euro area, the growth of its economies varies widely. For example, the top 5 economies based on the GDP annual growth rate in 2021 were Ireland, first, Malta, Greece, Estonia, and Slovenia, when the 5 laggards in 2021 were Germany, Slovakia, Finland, Austria, and Latvia. The average annual GDP growth rate for the 19 countries of the Euro area was 6.22%, while it was 11% for Turkey. Let's look at the methodology of this paper. So first, to remind the objective, so it's to assess using spectral analysis the resilience of Turkey's economy following the economic shock from the COVID-19 pandemic using 2050 forecast of the quarterly real GDP of Turkey and Euro area. So the forecasting model follows 4 steps as illustrated in the flowchart of this slide. Step 1 is a denoising and compression of the quarterly real GDP growth rate of Euro area and Turkey. Step 2 is wavelet decomposition. Step 3 is Berg extension of approximations and details. And finally, step 4 is wavelet reconstruction, that is to say, forecasting. The results. Figure 5 illustrates 116 forecasts with spectral analysis of Turkey and Euro area quarterly annualized real GDP growth rate from Q1 2022 to Q4 2050. So Turkey forecast look more pessimistic than the Euro area, with an average quarterly annualized growth rate of minus 2.17% with the data not including the pandemic, and 0.12% average with the data including the pandemic. When the Euro area forecast have an average growth rate of 1.03% with the data not including the pandemic, but 2% annual average quarterly growth rate of 2% with the data including the pandemic. Now, to formally assess the resilience of Turkey's economy following the economic shock from the COVID-19 pandemic, we will in fact subtract the average Euro area quarterly growth rate obtained with the data including the pandemic minus the average Euro area quarterly growth rate forecast with the data not including the pandemic. So including the pandemic, we have an average growth rate of 2% between 2022 and 2050 for the Euro area, with minus, in fact, the 1.03%, which is the average Euro area quarterly growth rate forecast. We have a difference of 0.97%, when with Turkey the difference is 2.3%. So it's 0.12% average Turkey area quarterly growth rate minus 2.17%. So Turkey, based on this way of assessing the resilience of the economy, shows a higher resilience to the COVID-19 pandemic, 2.3%, than the Euro area, 0.97%. However, the authors pointed out that the forecasted quarterly annualized growth rate average of the Euro area between 2022 and 2050, obtained with the data including the pandemic, is expected to be 2% for the Euro area, when it is expected to be only 0.12% for. Here, the figure 6 illustrates 116 forecasts with the spectral analysis of Turkey and Euro area of the real GDPs. So, as we can see in this orange curve that represents the Turkey forecast with the historical data including the pandemic, what we see is that the real GDP forecast between 2022 until 2036 shows a rapid increase, then a stabilization until 2046, then a decline thereafter. Whereas the Euro area forecast with the 1998-2021 data, including the pandemic, shows a steady increase until 2050. The question now is it worth it for Turkey to join the European Union of 27 members? So we will quickly recap the story between Turkey and the European Union. In 1987, Turkey applied to join what was then the European Economic Community, and in 1999, Turkey was declared eligible to join the European Union. Turkey has always been a key strategic partner of the European Union. on issues such as migration, security, counter-terrorism, and the economy, but has been backsliding in the areas of democracy, rule of law, and fundamental rights. So, in response, the General Affairs Council of the European Union decided in June 2018 that accession negotiations with Turkey were effectively frozen. So Turkey has to make some progress in the above-mentioned area of democracy, rule of law, and fundamental rights in order to join the European Union. However, Turkey has a powerful lever on the European Commission regarding refugees. Irregular migration from Turkey to the European Union involving smugglers and thousands of refugees moving to the European Union every year has forced the European Union to implement a facility for refugees in Turkey to stem migratory flows. In June 2021, the European Commission proposed a total package of €3 billion to be allocated in Turkey for refugee support and retention. The Facility for Refugees, a key component of the 2016 European Union-Turkey statement, marked a significant scale-up of European Union support to refugees in Turkey. Thus, Turkey has means to negotiate its accessions to the European Union. Let's look now at the recent macroeconomic outlook in Turkey. In Turkey, annual inflation rate accelerated for the 14th consecutive month to a skyrocketing 79.6% in July of 2022. The Turkish lira currency depreciated past 17.94 per USD in August 2022 from 13.32 per USD at the start of 2022, means minus 25% decrease, extending its decline amid large negative interest rate and soaring consumer prices. The latest current account figure pointed in 2022 to a deficit of $6.5 billion, and the export order index from the central banks tanked to a 15-month low, contradicting the president's pledge that Turkey would consolidate a strong current account surplus. Now, coming back to the question, is it worth it for Turkey to join the European Union of 27 members? The authors of this article believe that the current Turkey economic crisis would have been lessened for Turkey with the status of European Union member. The European Union organization supporting lagging members. In addition, using the euro currency as legal tender would have avoided the situation related to the sharp depreciation of Turkish lira. During the first 8 months of 2022, euro depreciated against USD by 8.5%, when Turkish lira depreciated by 25%. Less volatility of the domestic currency should reassure international investors. Finally, the not so optimistic 2022 to 2050 forecast of quarterly growth rate of Turkey, with an average of 0.12% versus 2% for the euro area, point out the benefit of Turkey to join the European Union in coming years. We thank you for your time. Teşekkür.